What's going on, guys? Welcome to a not so fun episode of Renegade Capes on the Renegade Pop Culture Podcast Network. My name is Mike. I'll be your host this evening. Joining me, we've got Brock to my left.
Hey.
We've got Teresa.
Hello.
And we have Jacob.
Hey.
So the original plan was just do a standard episode discussing Wakanda Forever. But on November 11th, we found out that morning that we lost Kevin Conroy at the age of 66 to intestinal cancer. Waking up that morning to this news was it was a gut punch, to say the least. Now, Brock, I know you have actually met him at a convention once. You want to share that story with the audience?
So anyway, I had never been to a con before. I didn't even know many of them existed outside of New York and San Diego because I just never looked into them. And then a buddy of mine who is originally from St. Louis but lives in Wisconsin with me was like, I'm going to go visit my family and the St. Louis Comic-Con is going to be happening. And I'm looking at some stuff and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. That's 7 hours one way. And like, I just don't know if there's anything worth it. I want to go. I mean, I wouldn't mind spending the weekend with you there, but I don't think there's something that's going to make me drive 7 hours. And then the next day he messages me. He's like, buy your tickets. I'm like, dude, there's no one. There's no one that's making me drive 7 hours. And all he showed me was on the guest list was Kevin. I could not. I've never bought something faster in my entire life. And I had no idea how it worked. I didn't even know if I get to see him. I'm just like, there's a chance. I'm going. And so all of a sudden I get into the convention center, and the literal first thing it was in the St. Louis Rams. It was just after the Rams got sold to go to LA. Their stadium was empty. It was inside the Rams' old stadium. And we go in. There's where the doors go to where the like stadium part would be, and it's on the floor there. The literal first thing I see, not even joking, is Kevin's table. Off to the right, there's a bunch of vendors here, and then Kevin's table here was like a weird, like a circle area where the main autograph signings were outside of like the big guys like Gene Simmons and Randy Orton and stuff were there. But so, and then all of a sudden we're there at like 3:30. His signing's at 4, and there's like 5 people in line. And I talked to the people, Chris and Alicia, the good friends of mine that were there with me. I'm like, no offense, guys. I'm just staying here. And they're just like, that's fine. And then I get to the people and I get in there. I'm like, I have nothing to sign. I don't know. I'm just like I don't even know how to process that I might meet Kevin Conroy within like 20 minutes. And then there's this really nice guy, Eli Efford, like handed me a photo, and you come to realize that they have the photos at the table and all that. But just, I didn't even realize it. He just, in a jacket, in street clothes, just carrying a roll-on baggage behind him, just swiftly like ejects it, takes out some pictures, sits on the table, puts a smile on his face, and just starts shaking hands. I'm just like, what? He's just right there. And like, again, I never met anyone like that. And then he treated it like he was nothing special. He was just a guy that was there to talk with people. And I'm having a literal out of body experience that like, he's right there. And we just get up, I get within 2 steps, and he goes to shake my hand, and I started bawling. I couldn't even talk. I literally burst into tears because I couldn't realize that Kevin was in front. I'm going to start crying right now. And he walks around the table and hugs me. He's like, you okay? I'm like, you have no idea how much you helped me when I was younger. I was a kid of divorced parents when I was in 4th grade, and the animated series helped me through so much. Just knowing a kid with a weird parental situation and stuff like that, it just, years, you've done so much for me, and I'll never be able to thank you for that. And he hugged me again. and said, I am happy that I got to be that person for you. And while happy in any situation, I get to be that person for you. Everyone needs help getting through dark nights, and I'm damn happy I got to be that person for you. And he just smiled at me, walked me through the whole process of signing to me. He's like, Lauren is right behind me. That's the guy that voiced Robin is right behind me. I'm just going to hand this over to him, all right? We're going to get you signed by him as well. He's just like, you going to be okay? Like, I'm going to be fine. You have no idea how much this means to me. He just smiled. He shook my hand. He's like, you have a good rest of your convention. I'm glad I got to meet you. And I just got it with my day. He just was happy that he got to help me. He didn't act like he was someone special. He didn't act like he was better than anyone else. He was just happy as hell that he got to help some young kid. And I'll never forget that. And then leaving the convention center, I'm walking out, and Chris and Alicia, we are about to get to the door. We're in a group of like 60 people. Kevin's just walking around with everyone. Doesn't say a word, nothing. Like just a regular human being who's not been a person who's been Batman for 20 years at that point. Just walking through everyone. I'm like, holy crap, hi, Kevin. He's like, yeah, good to see you again, man. You have a good rest of the con. And just walked away. I'm like, what? It was just, he could not be a more down-to-earth, just in his element, happy to see people. In my life, I've never, like just later that day, I got to see people that did not care. There was people that, like, in that autograph line, I learned that they keep, how they get people at the brand of the Comic-Con I went to, got to keep 100% of what they made when they got there. That's how they get them to go in. They make it off concessions. And barely even gave people the time of day. Like, I did the math watching someone getting autographs and pictures while I was waiting to get it with Randy Orton. In my head, roughly, they probably made $3,000 in roughly an hour just standing there taking pictures. And they could not have cared less. In that 2-minute conversation with Kevin, I got more care out of that than that person gave to like probably 200 people. I just, there's few more sincere people that I got out of a 2-minute conversation than I did with Kevin Conroy. And it's just, I'll never forget that. He was my first ever experience at a con and probably is the best one. He is the most, he's the definition of how a person who is in that position should act. And like, I was on vacation and I was purposely not checking my phone. I was just living in the moment, just hanging out with my surrogate dad. And we're putting a puzzle together in his basement. And my buddy across from me that came with me looked at his phone and he looked me dead in the eyes. And he said, have you been on the internet at all today? I'm like, no. Why? He's like, you're going to need a minute. I'm like, dude, what is it? And then he just sent me the link. And I looked at it and I had to leave the room and I started bawling. And I had no idea. I was crying. All I could hear was my surrogate dad, Luke, ask Morgan what happened. And he said Kevin Conroy died. And he wasn't sure because he doesn't keep that close to time. He's like, who's Kevin Conroy? He's like, he's the guy that's voiced Batman for like 30 years. Ran in and immediately hugged me. Because he knew how much that hurt. Like, Chadwick and Robin Williams are the two people that even came this close. And 66 is no age to die. I'm sorry. I'm done. You guys go ahead.
Dude, it's fine, dude.
No.
It's fine. I honestly, Brock, when I heard the news, what I first thought about was you. When I first thought, like, oh, like, man, like, where do we even fucking start? Like, this honestly feels like one of those deaths that shouldn't even be possible. You know, it's like it's, you know, I've been to conventions, I've met a lot of cool people, but I would give anything now just to meet him. Like, I would willingly wait in a 2-hour line if it meant that he was on the other end of it. And man, I consider it a privilege, Brock, to know someone who has met him. I really do. And another thing we should bring up, recently he did something for DC Pride where he talked about what Batman, which is now free, by the way. We can read it for free about why he saw himself as Batman, like a man with a secret identity. Is it with flawed humanity, the face, and I guess like the consequences of like what would happen if that came out, or I don't know how open he was.
I didn't even know that until like 7 months ago. I have followed this man's career my whole life, and I had no idea.
And God, like to know that how much he saw him, how much the role it meant to him on such a profound, it meant that much to him on a level. Does I have all the times I've listened to his performance as Batman, like you hear this all the time. Oh, you know, Michael Keaton, no, he's the real Batman, or what the no, Kevin Conroy. I know this is a cliche, but goddamn, he really was the fucking Batman, dude.
No, it's no cliche. There are a few things that I will get in a fist fight over than people trying to tell me, is he just voice act? I'm like, you fucking try voice acting once.
Okay.
Every person that I hear that with, voice acting is not simply you just talking.
Yeah, before Batman, he was only known for like his biggest claim to fame was playing David Dunkel and Rachel Gunn RN, and also he was Rusty Wallace in Tour of Duty. He was in a bunch of like soap operas and like failed pilots, and
he did a lot of stage work.
Yeah. One thing he understood about Batman, he got this from Bud Colley, apparently, the guy who did the voice for Superman in the radio show and the Fleischer Brothers shorts, is because it was Bruce Wayne that was the infliction, because like it was the face that he was putting on, that it wasn't the other way around like Clark Kent and Superman. It was Batman and Bruce Wayne. You know, it was like, and honestly, I wish more actors took a page from his book and actually put that much into making Bruce sound unlike Batman. Like it's a shame that like he was an actor who put Batman squarely before Bruce Wayne. And that's nothing you can really say about any of the actors, really. That's mainly because most of the time, like with Christian Bale, for instance, we actually saw Bruce Wayne first. I'm just rambling. Teresa, you have anything to add?
You're good, man.
I have not met him, but he was a very big part of my childhood, and honestly, probably the reason I like comic books and like superheroes, because I was like my brother's a lot older than me. He didn't really read comic books, and like sure, if there was like, you know, if I was growing up now, we would go to a big movie, but they weren't like, you know, in the lore or anything like that. And all the lore I know is from Batman animated. Actually, they used to have it's like Columbia House for like TV shows.
Oh, nice.
That's how old I am. And they had VHS copies of Batman the animated series, and I was like, and that's what I'm getting. So I have like where they would do it by themes. It wasn't in order of the season, and I would just get random ones that you could like subscribe to, and you get like 6 for $1. And then it was just auto renewed, and I like worked at Sonic Drive-In, and like that's what I used my money on. Was like Batman the animated series on VHS tape. Yes. And so those are at my mom's house. I should find those. That's how I knew it. And then when Justice League and all of that like came out, I was like, oh, there's more to know. So definitely animation is like my like gateway into superheroes, and Kevin was the best. And I love Batman Beyond, like all the like everyone's listing all the things. I was like, watch that, got all of that. So it's very sad, and cancer just really sucks. it takes people way too soon. But I mean, definitely, especially with like Chadwick, I was like, he didn't tell anybody. But it's they didn't want anyone to change the way they acted with them, and you have to respect that. But it is very sad, and it seems amazing to me that they spent the last months being there for like fans and like kind of in that silent struggle. So
I mentioned this actually before we recorded on the X-Men one a couple of years ago, is that it was recorded when New Mutants came out and Chadwick had just died. And so I mentioned this. Chadwick didn't mention it because he didn't want to be remembered as a victim.
Yeah.
He wanted to be remembered as just an actor. Like, he didn't want people to see his illness first before his craft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he knew that what he was doing with Black Panther was even bigger than him, and it truly, like, that's why people feel like others don't really have the right to know like what's going on with their personal lives. Like, you don't have to disclose everything that you're going through.
I mean, my dad had cancer. He did not want us to tell the rest of the family. And it was very far along before we were allowed to tell anyone. So it's very personal. But it was almost like if you tell people, then it becomes like more real, and like a bigger thing. And obviously having cancer is very hard on its own.
Well,
So.
there's that, and then you don't become a person anymore. You become a thing that has cancer, and that's all they ever want to talk about. And you don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it was for my grandpa when he passed away at the age of 67, which is
very close.
Like a year. Yeah, a year. Just like a year between him and Kevin Conroy. So yeah, that's kind of one reason why when I heard the news, it hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was just kind of flashing back to, when I was a child, all like 20 years ago when I lost him. But yeah, I've had Kevin Conroy in my life pretty much from the start. Batman the Animated Series came out in July. I was born a few months later. And as far as I know, he has just been Batman my entire existence.
Yes.
Everything from the animated series to Batman Beyond, the Justice League cartoons, and now anytime I read Batman comics, his voice is the first one that I hear in my head.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He captured every aspect sincerely of Batman. Like, it wasn't just the dark, it wasn't just the brewiness. He also had a really dry sense of humor, which I liked. I came across a video clip that was kind of explaining the difference of how Superman and Batman teach kids. It's like when Superman saves kids from like getting run over or whatever, he would say, "Hey kids, always look both ways, be careful where you walk." And then they play in Batman, and that one episode where he saves kids, like they're playing chicken on a train, and he saves one of them from being hit like by a tunnel, and he says, "You play chicken for too long, you fry."
It's not wrong.
He's not. It reminds me of one of my all-time favorite jokes from Batman Beyond. I can't remember who the villain was, but the villain was a person that got inside your mind and like manipulated things that you said. And Terry's talking with him, and he's like, I don't get it. How did you know he wasn't talking to you? He's like, because he called me Bruce. He's like, that's not what I call myself. Well, what do you call your... Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just, and it's like, there was people that were like bringing up moments that are just going to sit with them. The thing that, again, and I'm going to try not crying again, I am a very big person that like things just don't get to me as much as they do as like surrogate father figures. Shocking why I might like Batman a lot. But what might be the best thing in animation that's ever been done is his scene with Ace in Justice League Unlimited.
You mentioned that in the DC one that we did last year.
Yeah, it's just this kid. She's dying, and she's just like, you weren't going to use that thing to kill me, were you? No, I wasn't. Can you please just sit here with me? And they just hold hands with her. And it's like, there's other little things like that where I can't remember what comic book it's from, but the Justice League is in an orphanage for some reason. I can't remember why. But Superman, Green Lantern, and Green Arrow are like talking with them because something happened next to it. And they look to see where Bruce is. And Bruce is in the corner with like a little girl helping her put a puzzle together. He's like, are you sure? Maybe this one will be the one that fits. I'm just like, it never stops. He's just always wants to be that person. And it's just unreal how you get to have moments like that. And it's just another thing from that same part with that Justice League Unlimited. And it's why I'm always going to be okay that someone else voices Batman because someone has to. Like, just give more parts to Bruce Greenwood. He's really good. But in that same exact episode, it's basically a faux ending for Beyond.
Batman Beyond.
Never got to do the last season that they wanted. Look up the actual ending they wanted to do. It's kind of nuts. But it switches back, and you find out that Amanda Waller, being Amanda Waller, just injected Bruce's DNA into people to try and get another Batman. And it happened to be Terry. And then that is why his parent had to die, because Batman is born out of tragedy. And there needs to be another Batman. There always needs to be.
Oh, dude.
And it's wild. That episode is nuts. And the episode starts with him like griping with Bruce in like I want to say Terry's probably like 35 or something. And then
somewhere around there,
he goes and talks to him. He had to go and talk to Amanda, and then Amanda is telling him about the situation when they had to deal with the Royal Flush Gang. And that goes through everything about who Batman is as a person. And then when it finally cuts back, and Bruce is giving him this lecture about getting some food before he goes out on patrol. Just like, no, I'll go out and get something later. He's like, you're awfully stubborn, you know that? And Bruce does not know that Terry's technically his biological kid. And he just looks back to him. He's like, yeah, I get that from my old man. And he walks out the door. I'm just like,
It's messy.
Anyone who has not watched old DC animation, go. It is all gold. It is aged like a fine wine. All of it is good. Anything that Andrea Romano, Bruce Timm, and Paul Dini have touched is solid gold, and you cannot ever ruin it. Nothing's wrong with it. Go and treat yourself. I'm pretty sure it's probably all on HBO Max or somewhere you can stream it.
Most of it is.
Oh.
I know modern
movies move around, but yeah.
I know modern DC animation's kind of hit and miss.
They keep going on tangents.
They had more of a plan back in the day. Now it's just.
I heard Kevin Conroy when I saw Batman: The Killing Joke in theaters, which I know not exactly the best Batman movie to see in theaters, but he was a highlight in it for sure.
I saw it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I read Mark Hamill's Twitter, Facebook post recently. He said, you know what, he wouldn't want us to dwell on our misery, like our grief on this. Like, just always remember that though. And I wonder if any of the live action Batmans know exactly how important he was to it. Like, because sometimes
they do.
I would imagine they do, and if they don't, they're about to become very aware.
Yeah.
The Empire State Building recently just had the bat signal on its side in tribute to him.
Yeah, I saw that. It looks honestly pretty awesome that they did that.
Speaking of that, and again, a lot of people are like unearthing old like interviews and stuff now, and they're being uploaded, and it's just like you're hearing just even more about how the world does not deserve people like Kevin Conroy. Like, I didn't know that just because he was bored, he went and served as a cook for 9/11 responders.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And like he's just in this interview talking about it like, I shouldn't get thanks for this. Like, you should just do that because he's from New York. And he's talking about it was on the special features of
Gotham Knight, I think.
Gotham Knight, yeah, the one where he voiced a bunch of different,
the anthology one.
Yeah, he's talking to this interviewer where he was in the kitchen, and then this guy was talking. He's like, "What do you do?" He's like, "Oh, I'm a paramedic and all this," and he's like, "What do? You do voices?" He's like, "I fucking knew it. You're the guy that voices Batman, aren't you?" He's like, yeah, that's me. And then this guy screams out into the mess hall, "Guys, you're not going to believe who's making you dinner. It's Batman." And then this guy apparently calls back from the back of the room, "Bullshit, prove it." So Kevin, at the top of his lungs, just screams out the "I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman." And it's just dead silent. You can hear a pin drop. And that same guy goes, "Holy shit, that is him."
Oh my god.
And then
that interview was going around.
He looks back at him and he goes, "How'd that feel?" Kevin goes, "What?" He's like, "How does it feel to be Santa Claus? Because that's what you literally just were."
Yeah, that interview was circulating on Twitter a couple days ago, and yeah, it's such a great story.
Actually, speaking of conventions, I was one this weekend, and actually, Grey Griffin was there. Grey Griffin, she was Catwoman in the Arkham games, of course, and she put on she was just the sweetest lady there, but I just knew that deep down she was hurting. She was definitely hurting, and she put on a brave face. She certainly did, and that's all. Like, that's just impact. Like, even with, I knew that, and I got nothing more to add. It's just like the voice acting community really, really lost a great, like a titan essentially in that field.
Yeah, and it's like he's not one of those people that has an IMDb list of like 38,000 characters, but he does have a list proving that no one's gonna fucking touch Batman the way he did. People are still going to do a good job. You don't need to do 1,000 characters if you do one that good.
Yeah. Right. And because it's like animation, it's almost like timeless. Because Batman doesn't age. I mean, technically in Batman Beyond, but like it's just Kevin, same age to me, like this whole time. Yeah. Yes, it was in my childhood, but to me it feels like yesterday. So
yeah. And as much as some people did not like Batwoman, I am so damn happy. I can't tell you, last thing I'll say before we go, when they were doing that Infinite Crisis and they said that Kevin was going to be in it, actually being Bruce, I started having that experience where I was like meeting Kevin. I'm just like, I'm going to see him talk and have that voice. And then you see Kate, Ruby Rose, Kate Kane walk into the manor, and they did it so perfectly because they just show a step and you hear steps coming, but you do not get to see Kevin right away, and you just hear him talking, and you get to realize that voice is coming from him in live action. And then he just comes down and you actually get to hear the Batman voice coming from Kevin without animation in front of it. And that was so hard to process, that he fucking finally got to be on screen as Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. If nothing else, that was probably one of the biggest highlights from Crisis on Infinite Earths. Just seeing everyone's favorite Batman on screen for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just anything I could say, like I said again, go watch all the animated series, all that. They're widely available and they never get old.
I have the first 2 volumes on DVD. I know I'm binge watching soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They are fantastic. And he gets the very last line in Justice League Unlimited. I won't say what it is. It's just you actually get to hear Batman crack a joke in front of like 6 different villains who are genuinely terrified of him. And it is fantastic.
Love it.
But yeah, rest in peace, Kevin.
Rest in peace.
How fitting is it that this just happened to happen the same weekend as Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
Yeah.
It's one of those coincidences that some things like really does feel like divine providence in some way.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We now move on to our Black Panther: Wakanda Forever discussion. So this is not counting the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, technically the final installment of Marvel's Phase 4. So in this movie, we follow Queen Ramonda, Shuri, M'Baku, Kaye, and the Dora Milaje as they fight to protect their nation from intervening world powers in the wake of King T'Challa's death. As the Wakandans strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together with Nakia and Everett Ross to forge a new path for their beloved kingdom.
Question before we start. One thing I told this Mike during our review, one thing I've always loved that Marvel's done ever since Chadwick passed is the very last thing before the Marvel logo fades out is that you get to see Chadwick doing that awesome AoE effect ground pound in the Marvel logo.
Yeah.
How quiet, because mine, you couldn't hear anything for miles when it was just Chadwick in the opening. Did you guys get the same thing?
Yeah, it was quiet at my theater too.
Okay. I didn't think I wanted to start crying before the movie started, but go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that opening it really just shows how big of an impact Chadwick had on the character and superhero movies at large. Like this movie kind of eclipsed basically the entire genre, and it like the first one was the first superhero movie to be nominated for Best Picture, which I still can't like wrap my mind around. Mm-hmm. Teresa, I'm going to ask you first your overall thoughts on the film.
I thought it was solid. I would give it, if I have to give it a letter, would be like B+. I didn't think it was perfect, but it did what it needed to do, and for the characters and the arcs. I have some quibbles with Shuri's arc, but honestly, I was so invested with the new, like the Tolkans, that I was like sad that they were fighting. Like almost half the movie, I was like, you're not supposed to fight. Like we need to go back underwater with these people. Like they're awesome. So I was just like, no. And like obviously all the chain reactions that lead up to the big battle, I'm like, oh, it's gonna go worse. Like that. I was just very like dreading it. I was like, ugh, there's no happy ending, like no one's getting married now. So I was very like, damn it. But definitely I feel like the spectacle with the boat at the end, that was when I was just like, I don't even know which way it's gonna go. Like I was just like so invested, and I think the only way they could do that was with the kind of slow bring you in from the beginning of the movie. I didn't think it was too long. Some people complain. I feel like people always complain about this with Marvel, but I thought it was as long as it needed to be. Honestly, I felt like it was missing some pieces at the end. I was like, what's really up? But I loved it. I'm gonna see it again.
Nice. Jacob, what about you?
I thought it was very solid dramatically. I thought that the grief over Chadwick was felt throughout this entire thing. It's certainly one of the more mature blockbusters that I've seen in a while. That it is refreshing to see a big Hollywood film be this earnest about how much a loss like that can leave behind. And I liked the slower moments, like when they're in the underwater city. I thought that was really cool. Like when you're just allowed to explore the area. I liked the music choices. They were playing songs like in parts I didn't really expect them to play songs. I just kind of added to like the emotional sincerity of it. In terms of humor, like this did feel more serious, but I thought that even when they were trying to be funny, it could even get pretty funny at times, like when it needed to be. I will admit, as always happens in Marvel movies, the last battle is never as interesting as the slower moments, in my opinion. I thought the characters were very nuanced. They felt realer than they have been in a long time in a Marvel film. I thought it was overall a very solid movie, and I thought it was pretty refreshing that the last film in Phase 4 for once didn't have to be a big crossover event. Like that's what I like about Phase 4 is, these standalone movies are allowed to be standalone, at least for the time being, except for when they come to like the multidimensional stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought it was a very solid film in its own right.
Nice. Brock, did you have a chance to see it again since our last recording?
Sadly, no, because I've been incredibly busy at work. But yeah, it was very solid. I liked it a lot. I toss up between actually kind of maybe liking this more than the first one, but that's for just different reasons with the first one. But it's suspension of disbelief on certain things, because it was just things are just like that happened. It was like, yeah, we can talk about that later. I was one of the people that thought it felt a little bit overly long, and you and me kind of talked about parts that just felt off that could have been cut out. Like a lot of the stuff with just like, hey guys, remember that Valentina exists. Please, God, remember. She's going to be important at some point. Not right now. But, and then when we talk into actual story things, I'll mention the part that I think could have probably chopped about 20 minutes, and I thought it would have been really solid. I'm really happy that Riri's here. I already love Riri so much.
Yeah.
Same.
She's fantastic. Like I told Mike, Ironheart, she goes to MIT. You know who else goes to MIT? MJ and Ned. And Flash. I want to see them magically be like, oh, hi. But yeah, I liked it a lot. And I told this to Mike. I'm currently in my brain fighting over Shuri's Black Panther costume maybe being my favorite superhero costume in all of Marvel at the moment. That thing's pretty freaking slick looking.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to go that far, but I do love what Shuri did to the Black Panther costume.
It wasn't a lot. It's very subtle. Just the white dots and the slight gold striping, but that thing just chef's kiss.
Just to briefly sum up my thoughts, I'm just amazed that this exists at all, and that it is like coherent as it is, despite all of the troubles behind the scenes. Starting with losing their star and their main character, and then on top of COVID being a thing and everything that came with it.
Everything.
They were dealt the worst hand, and yet this still turned out to be like a very powerful film with incredible performances, some great action sequences, and also great use of silence. Even in some of the action scenes, like there's still like no background music. So like, for example, the one on the bridge, you feel each hit during Okoye's fight.
Oh, absolutely.
Moments like that, plus just how cool the capital of Talocan looks, makes this one of Marvel's finer pictures.
It was cool that they did an Avatar crossover. I wasn't expecting that, but
but how weird is that too? That like Disney's releasing these two huge blockbusters back to back, and they both have water as the main theme.
It happens. It's like a Deep Impact and what's the other one? Armageddon. Yeah, that's what it was.
But it was Dante's Peak and Volcano.
There it is. Yeah.
Or like Ants in a Bug's Life.
And Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down. That was the one where I'm like, really? 2 White House movies are next year? It's like,
that's
always happens.
It's just weird that these two are coming from the same company.
Yeah.
And probably the reason why both Aquaman 2 and Shazam 2 were like, nope, see you guys next year.
Yeah.
Gonna do
Good
that.
call.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to start with probably the MVP of the bunch, Angela Bassett.
Ooh.
Man, I got a pre-prep for this. Like, Angela Bassett is just the best. And again, I told Mike during the review, I don't know if any of you are gamers at all, but like my favorite series now, my favorite game of all time is Horizon Forbidden West. Now it was Horizon Zero Dawn. And Forbidden West, she gets to play this outcast named Regala, who is leading a rebel force against the people you're fighting, and just hearing her scream out orders on a battlefield, it just was like, oh my goodness, that woman's voice. She just sends chills through you. It just, man, I don't think there has been a bigger, like, I felt as intimidated as like the portal scene as when she just stands up in the middle of that boardroom and is like, here's your trash. You invade one of our research centers again, and you're going to get their bodies in pieces.
Yeah.
The editing in that sequence is perfect. I love how they cut between Queen Ramunda's speech and the invasion of that outreach center. It's just so good.
Yeah. They're already varieties. They're predicting best supporting actress along the other categories, and she's actually a contender. Just stole it. Like, she honestly, through that my entire family is gone monologue, but she deserves for that. She already has actually been nominated for an Oscar when she played Tina Turner.
Oh, nice.
Yep, that was like
got to do with it. 1993.
Yeah, so this would be her first Academy Award in roughly 30 years, and she would be the first Marvel actor to receive any sort of awards recognition.
Yeah.
This is the one where I actually feel like it would be deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. The other time, like, this would also be the first time, like, for a comic book movie in action since Joaquin Phoenix and Joker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which just seems bizarre to me that so far the only comic book actors to win an award are for a single character.
Yeah, Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah.
She and Letitia Wright, they really sold every scene together. Like, their chemistry as mother and daughter is so unbelievably convincing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't tell me. It's like I was talking with people about, like, just she really displayed the sadness in the movie for losing her brother.
Yeah.
I'm like, Chadwick probably was like a brother to her. Like,
Yeah.
she's still a very up and coming actress. You can't tell me that Chadwick was giving her every bit of advice that he humanly could.
And Angela even said that even before Chadwick died, she said that she was practically a mother to him.
Because they both went to Howard and had that connection and met before and all that. It's crazy. So crazy. But I feel like the movie was just like bigger than them, and like it's one of those things when like it's the right moment finally, and all the people coming together. Like it was the right moment for Ryan Coogler to like step up and just like own a franchise like this. Is just so crazy. Because I mean, I feel like my mom sort of pays attention to Marvel, but like Black Panther is like the one where she's like, oh
Yeah.
that's the one kind of thing. And I feel like Avengers probably crossed over a little bit more, but once they started getting in the phases and things like that, it's just, you know, people are just coming to support Chadwick in a way. But I just thought the acting was amazing. I read the article about Angela Bassett upset about her character arc, and I was like, I am right there with you. I did not agree with that ending. But then she's like, Ryan knows, and Marvel, anything's possible. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna see me again. And I was like, okay, fine. You better come back. Like, I'm gonna be up in arms.
Plane. She can always be wherever she needs to be.
That she can.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Ryan Coogler, he was actually on a podcast recently with Ta-Nehisi Coates for a Black Panther podcast, and I listened to that, and it's a hard listen to man. It's really like, if you haven't heard it, I highly recommend you have. Like, he talks about Coates. He asked him, you know, like what their last interaction was between them, and like Ryan had to pause for like 15 seconds, like just to compose himself. And I always hate talking about these things, but like it's so like thinking about someone like that you saw who was so important in your life, like the last time you spoke to them, like about, like they were talking about like the script and all that, if Chadwick thought it was good, and yeah, it's one of those things, like I mentioned, like it's one of those deaths that really should not have been possible, especially not at an age like that.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so unthinkable. It's crazy.
Oh, and it's one of those things where it's like, I immediately just wanted to smack so many people. All of this, like, I don't know if you guys remember the amount of shit that Chadwick was getting for looking in rough shape and not looking like.
Oh my God.
I remember that.
Like a jacked himbo at all times, just because he's going to be in Marvel movies. I'm like, if he wants to look like what he wants to look like, whatever, just whatever. And then you find out what he was going through, and all of his like, every one of you, I want to find and just slap the shit out of. He's trying to live his own life and not let you people know that he was suffering, and you're out here ripping on him.
Yeah. I mentioned this when me and Kiona talked about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Have any of you guys seen that?
I haven't gotten to it yet.
Well, he goes into like this monologue about how, you know, with all the racism his character felt as a kid, you know, all the hatred he got, he felt like God abandoned him, like God just like turned a blind eye towards him. And that I really think that what Chadwick was going through really made that was the reason why that monologue sounded so convincing, was because he had to have felt like that, like he like just you know, and you know, like, you know, when he like he was a playwright, even he wrote plays, you know, it was definitely a highlight to hear him in What If, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
that was, and doesn't know heard that was a really fun episode too.
He just defeated Thanos by talking to him.
Yeah. Sometimes a good argument is the only weapon you need in your arsenal.
I just love that so much. How do you save the universe? Common sense.
Yeah. And then it was like, although I still assert that my plan was not without its merits. Pretty sure it's just genocide, big guy.
Yes. Yeah. So, what are some of your guys', outside of the stuff we've already mentioned, highlights from the movie?
You can, Mike, go ahead.
Riri's arc. Like, yeah, you could argue that on the one hand, she is just here to promote the Ironheart show, which Ryan Coogler is producing. So it makes more sense that she'd show up here first. But just the fact that she's like a genius at 19 years old, and just happens to be sort of the target for both the Talakans and the CIA. She's kind of filling the role that Shuri was playing in the first Black Panther, as sort of like the little sister to our main hero. And I thought actually that was pretty cool.
Yeah, those two were great together.
I saw that article where they were like, "Oh, she was a MacGuffin, and it was like she wasn't explored enough." And I was like, "What movie do you watch?" Like, I was like, and because they're like, "Oh, they didn't go more into her character." I'm like, "She's a side character." Movie is called Wakanda Forever, not Ironheart. I was just like, "This is crazy." Like, what if the fans are never satisfied? I was just
it's either she was there too much or not enough. It's like,
yeah. And then the other people were like, "Wait a minute, why was she there?" I'm like, she was amazing. I thought the actress was amazing. And did such a good job. And because some people were like, "Well, like, how did she get the stuff to build the suit?" Because she's a genius.
She's at MIT.
Yeah, I'm like, she's
got the resources.
Yeah, you can see she's scrappy and like hustling for stuff. She literally like goes up and basically Venmos herself multiple thousands of dollars from a guy. Yo, you owe me. You can see she's got a side door where she's not to be screwed with.
Yeah. Those parts are expensive.
Yeah,
trying to get her money. So, I thought she was good. And I want to see her TV show.
Yeah, I was already excited for the series, but after seeing the movie, I'm like twice as excited.
A highlight for me is when we heard Namor's backstory.
Yes.
About how he got his name from a Spanish priest when that village was raided by conquistadors, and I loved the music too. There was something about that. It's something you'd see like in an actual historical drama, even the way it was filmed and the way that was like the real source, I think, of the dramatic weight was how much Namor and Shuri like sort of have in common, like they're people, and like in a way he is essentially Killmonger in this one too, but it didn't feel like a carbon copy of Killmonger. That's what I liked.
We'll get to that in a second, but yeah.
Gotta keep up that streak.
About Namor, this is the best version of the character, in my opinion. I understand why some people like the more arrogant, selfish, I do everything for me and me alone, the version from the comics, but I like how you understand more why he's doing what he does. You can really tell based on his actions and just his more charismatic personality that he cares about his people and he only wants what's best for them.
Oh, absolutely.
There was that line he said that like kind of meant the most to me, was that only the most broken people can become great leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just love how this character that was considered a joke to so many people, who was sitting in a cellar basement locked in rights by Universal Studios for so long, finally gets wrenched free and gets one of the most badass intros in a comic book or in a movie ever.
Yeah.
That rig scene, oh, chills. How good that was.
Oh yeah.
It was like a science fiction horror movie. It's like that phantom jellyfish coming in and they're just disappearing under the water, and then they're being siren walked and suicide jumping off the rig. Yeah. And then it's just like, we're free. Nope, take your trash, and throws the helicopter back.
Scary but satisfying.
was just like,
oh yeah,
that'll work. Needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah, I love how like no one could see, like obviously no one's left alive who saw them. So I'm just like, how many times have they been doing this? That's what I started thinking, and I was like, don't mess with them. I'm going on a cruise to Mexico and going to like Mayan ruins. My friend was like,
Nice.
watch out. You're watching out.
That's amazing.
Like, yeah, I gotta watch out to see if my mom's down there. But no, I thought it was pretty epic, and pretty smart to kind of open the scene with like people we haven't seen before, and get you hooked.
By the way, that's Lake Bell,
Mhm.
in that scene, and you know that's cool how this universe always finds a part for like pretty much anyone, even for like a single scene.
Oh wow, she was Black Widow in What If?
Mhm.
Yep.
I knew that sounded familiar. I was like Bell. That...
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And of course, she's also Poison Ivy in Harley Quinn.
It's... Yeah. Oh man. I just could. That is such an achievement for me that character could have been taken so not seriously. They even kept the winged feet.
The panels I've seen, because I haven't read any of them, are like jokes, and I'm like, that's no more. So okay. And like someone was at the bookstore and they were saying like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna see Wakanda Forever, and I was like, have you not seen the more on the posters? Like, what are you waiting on? You need to watch this. Like, if you need any, like, if you're not in the universe, I was like, go and see the water guy. I was like, you need to see it. And they're like, oh, maybe we will. And I was like, yeah. And they were wearing like Harry style, because Harry Styles has been in LA forever for the last 2 weeks. And I was like, it won't steer you wrong. I promise you. I know what you like. And they were just like, yeah, okay. Get in there.
That's
so funny. It's so funny to me when I meet people who have like no idea. Like last week was Wakanda Forever week to me, and they're just like, "Oh, that's out." And I'm like,
yeah. Did you not miss it everywhere?
Like, it's happening. I'm actually mad they had a screening with Ryan Coogler at USC, and my company organized it, and like did not. I was like, hey, I could have gotten in there. And they're just like, oh, we're just doing so many screenings, we don't know. You know. It's like, no, I was like, oh. But now I'm in the know with the Disney stuff. So hopefully all the next stuff I will be able to see early.
Nice.
Yeah, next time a screening like that happens, you definitely have to take up that opportunity.
I just need to find like the right LA office person who like does the tickets and like the list, and make more friends and be like, so hi, we're work from home, we haven't met, but I'm Teresa and we're going to be really good friends. But no, I'm working more on Disney stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about, but getting excited for upcoming films.
That reminds me of quick tangent. That reminds me of how Jamie Foxx talks about how you get into the game of featuring on people's albums. He's just like, so Jamie, how do you get into it? You break into their recording sessions at 3 a.m. That's what you do.
You're in.
You show up when they're recording and be like, yo, this would be better if I'm in it. But yeah, we're talking, like, I could talk for a while about all the great things that we liked in it. Like, the only legit 2 gripes that I have was feeling that was a little bit long, and that, boy, do they need Valentina to become actually important and not just be handing out Thunderbolts invitation cards and taking jobs. But like the thing that I talked with Mike about, outside of some stuff that could be trimmed, the Violetta stuff could have been an after credit scene. And it's a problem that I have with movies a lot. In my opinion, you could have had the end fight scene somehow formulated to happen inside Wakanda, and not had the first fight happen, because one thing that I hate that movies do, and this movie unfortunately did it, is you will have two forces. One has shown that it is unbelievably superior than the other. And they're like, we should join forces. We would like you to fight with us. No, we're the underdogs. We want to defend ourselves. We're going to do this. He's like, okay, cool. They then go and wipe the floor, kick the living shit out of that other force, and be like, I understand that we can do anything without you. We don't need you, but I'm going to whoop your ass again in a week if you don't take our offer.
Yeah, basically.
How about you just showed you didn't need us and you move on?
That would be logical.
But I was like, you could have had Queen Ramonda still die. You could have had Namor kill her himself when you found out that Shuri was rescued from Talokan, and then it would have been the same amount of time frame. And then he basically has some people dump off her body in Wakanda and be like, you have a week. Prepare, I'm coming.
I think
Would
they
have been the
just didn't
same
want to go that
thing.
dark. That would have been too, like, he would have been less sympathetic.
Yeah, it's just like, I was like, that could have been the, I'm coming. You screwed with me. I warned you.
I mean, I was ready for, I honestly actually thought that was gonna, I was like, where's she at? Like,
Yeah. But yeah,
Leave it
that
all
was that was to me where I was like, most of it, and then Mike pointed out in our review, it's like, yeah, but you needed the desert for the thing. I'm like, I am not too far past just being okay with magical land Wakanda having a desert 20 yards that way that just happens to be there. Why? Because it's a made-up place.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I felt like everything needed to be in it. I just felt he came whooped our ass, and then we had to go have a fight out in the middle of water and wait for Shuri to hope that he surrenders so that we don't get our asses beat. You could have had that in the middle of the city, in my opinion. That's my only big legitimate gripe outside of I don't know exactly what the issues you had, Teresa, but I think I might agree with you. Shuri's arc was a bit bumpy.
Yes.
How it got to where it was going. It was executed. But
yeah, we got there.
yeah. But
There were some things, and I feel like this always, I'm like, I need more like drama, like inner stuff, and like they just ain't got the time. I just thought there should be, we see Ramonda at the end, and I know it was intercut, but I really wanted to like go to the ancestral plane and like really feel her realization instead of this like clip cut with the end climax fighting scene. I just felt it was like shortened, but then they gave us like 2 endings after. So like, okay, like, you know, Baby T'Challa, I was like, okay, I gotta leave this theater because I'm gonna just be crying all day. So once you had that, but I was just like, and honestly, I'm shocked that I didn't like put it together like the very end, and I was like, duh, that's why she was gone. 6 years sounds like a kid. But I would feel like that. I also feel like because they start with Chadwick, like with Black Panther's death, we don't know what Shuri was really doing before and where the like, I'm only science, like I get it, but I don't see the person, like, so she's just been like not doing any tribal stuff like this whole time, or is it just because of Chadwick? I don't know. I just had some questions about that. But then I'm sure when I watch it again, I'll be like, okay, I got it now. But the first time I was like, what?
I was watching some clips from the first Black Panther movie like earlier today, and yeah, I do see a little bit of Shuri being like, you know, the younger sister who's not really into all of the traditional stuff. Like I think it was during one of the challenge sequences where, you know, she's wearing all the like the Wakandan gear and she's like, can we wrap this up?
Yeah.
This dress is uncomfortable.
Yes, exactly.
And she offers to fight T'Challa for it. Unceremoniously. Like,
yes.
I think it's more like her personal arc of like her motivation. Like, I just want more of like kind of, yes, it's like, I always feel like this with the science characters. They're like, oh, science is your thing. And we don't get to see like how that came about. Do you know what I mean? And we got a little bit for 3, and I hope we get more in Ironheart. But like for Shuri, it's just like she was there, and now this is happening. So
honest question. I asked Mike this, and like Jacob, you can ask too. Do you think like if it would have worked better with like being an ancestor play and all that, like the fact that she saw Killmonger? Do you think? And I don't go either which way. Do you think it would have been better that she wouldn't have fully actually gotten the Panther powers to work within her until she actually like connected with Ramonda?
I guess it would be basically, but Thor Minonia and Thor, remember like that Sword in the Stone thing.
Oh yeah.
But sorry. I found her arc interesting. How like the first thing we hear is that she's praying to Bast, saying that if you help me cure my brother, I'll never doubt your existence. And she kind of like after her brother's death, she kind of goes through this almost atheist phase in a way. Like she says, "Why would they give me these powers? Like I was able to cure my brother, and I wasn't able to." Or when she's with her mother, like, and they're burning T'Challa's robes, like symbolically, and the queen, she says, "Oh, I was walking through the desert, and I felt your brother on me," and she said, "That was just a piece of your like subconscious or whatever." It was like she's always looking for a logical explanation for that. Like, and she's in a crisis of faith practically. Like,
yeah.
And she even says, like, this is actually a line I'm not used to hearing from a superhero. She says, "I want the whole world to burn and everyone in it." And that's a line that really does feel like it should come from a villain, but I hesitate to say it is relatable, and it's like I want people to feel the pain that I feel, essentially, and it is a very humanizing line for sure. It's like she's no longer the cute little sister who would say things like "What are those?" sort of thing. Like she wouldn't have like cute one-liners or like that. Like she has grown quite a bit, and I think Letitia Wright, she absolutely nailed it. All the emotional.
She did.
Scenes, and she really came into her own in this movie. That's what I liked.
There's a great line that M'Baku says. Queen Ramonda dies. She says, like, the world has taken far too much from you to still be considered a child.
Yeah.
And it's like, take this from a person who is so religious. Just one of the most, like, with that scene with praying to Bast, imagine just being your entire life, you're in your 20s now, that you've been badgered by everyone around you, that you need to participate in the tribal laws and tribal traditions, and you finally do, just because you want to save your brother's life. And the one time, the only thing you ever ask Bast for, you get told, "Nah, bro, I'm good."
Yeah. And the thing is, like,
that would kill you.
And even like her computer, her AI says, "Man, I think you should be on your brother's side." And she like, you do know Chadwick would have preferred it if she was by his side. Like he would know that her trying to create the heart-shaped orb, that would have been a lost cause. Mm-hmm. Like, sir, you're just wasting your time. Like those were probably his thoughts. Even it adds more to the tragedy. That sometimes, like when you're trying to make the situation better, sometimes you're just making it worse for them. There are so many emotional layers. Like I thought I was prepared for that opening. I really was, but I was expecting it to open at the funeral, like that, because I saw it playing in the trailers for it. I thought, okay, it would just open at that. But to see Shuri just frantically going around her lab, like trying to recreate the DNA for that herb that was destroyed because of Killmonger, and like knowing that it's all in vain, like, and you could just feel the air being sucked out of the theater.
Yeah, speaking of Killmonger, yeah, did any of you guys expect to see him when Shuri finally drinks the heart-shaped herb?
I wasn't expecting it, but at the same time, it wasn't exactly a massive shock.
Yeah,
but I think it was natural, and it wasn't a twist that tried too hard to shock you, which I liked.
Yeah. Brock, what did I say? Like, I was like 90% positive that he like that he would show up, but like 10% unsure of how.
Yeah. Well, it's like that's why I said you got to keep the streak alive. He's been in every single one of Ryan Coogler's movies, so it's like even if it's for 5 minutes, he's got to be there.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was cool getting to see that where it's just you literally got the figurative devil on your shoulder. He's like, "What's up?" It's like anyone going back to like playing Arkham Knight. The entire game, you literally have a hallucinogenic version of Joker, like telling you all of the bad things that's going on. I was like, that's kind of what that is, where it's just like, you want to tell me again you're doing this for the right reason? I didn't call you here. They did. So this isn't even me trying to tell you you're wrong. They're saying it, not me.
Herself trying to tell her.
Yeah, it's just like, so come on, let's talk about what you're feeling here, cuz. Oh, that was great.
I thought the intro to her taking the herb with like Riri, like they were like, "Oh, might need to resuscitate me." She's like, "Why? What's this? Like, what's gonna happen?" And I think if you haven't seen the other movies and you watch it, it kind of like brings it together of like how important this is and a little dangerous it is to take. I thought it was good. I feel like I should have figured it out, but I was like, oh, that's where he's going to be. Like, is kind of what I thought when he popped up.
Yeah. I didn't know they had a bad guy waiting room version of the ancestral plane.
Sure do.
But it's awesome. Now, another honest question. And if this movie probably would have happened 2 years out, I think the possibilities would be technically higher, but probably still not. I wondered the entire time during the ending fight scene that Ramonda was talking to her, but she was still going pretty nuts. What was your over-under at about 40% that they would have gotten an AI version of Chadwick's voice to say something?
Oh,
No. Bad.
At 40, I would probably say under. If it was like 25, I would have said over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because even if it was just like, you know, for a split second and maybe not even any dialogue, but just like scraping together some archival footage, I could have maybe seen that.
Or like a hologram situation.
Or just some distant, like a version of him looking at her from the plane, who just turns around and sees him, something like that. I was just like, I don't know if they're going to. They're probably not going to, and I'm very okay if they didn't. But I was like, there was a small tinge in the back of my head where I'm like, if at any point you were going to do it, it was right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This isn't like a Paul Walker situation, like where
Yeah.
that like died like before the production wrapped, so they had no choice but to. This was. Like, the whole act may not be inherently tasteless, but it sure as shit would have been here.
And, like, the only thing wouldn't have been, like, if the family would have been like, if you want to do something, you can. That would have been the only way I would have been okay with it, if they would have openly went to them and said, hey, if you want to, go ahead.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was thinking. Like it has to have had their approval first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was that fight was one of the most savage things they've ever done. When she literally deep fried him with that jet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn, girl.
Chill rage.
After she like chopped one of his feet wings off, I'm like,
I know. I was like, well, he's going down.
woo.
I told you that's when I was like, no, don't hurt his wings. I was like, what's gonna happen to him?
He's gonna fly in an awkward tangent now.
Regenerate. So thinking like actually fighting.
I hope
would have
those
been fun to
regenerate.
watch. That would have been fun to watch.
If he always flies at a tilt now.
Yeah.
Also, before we get away from it, we need to just bring up the infinite cock tease now that it's going to be for probably 8 years that he went out of his way to say the M word.
Yep.
He's made sure to say point blank that he is a mutant.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be a cock tease for a good 8 movies now still.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's the
Yeah,
special
and
one.
Yep.
if you don't count Apocalypse, like in the comics, Namor is the first mutant.
Yep.
Yeah.
They even changed Miss Marvel. They even changed Miss Marvel to not be an Inhuman anymore. She is now a mutant.
Yeah.
And the MCU anyway.
If only they could have, like, when he mentioned mutant, they would like
like they did with Professor X and Days of Multiverse of Madness. Oh,
Camelot.
That moment will live in my brain rent free forever.
Yeah.
Yep. So I do want to bring up the one negative that even people who love the movie will admit. Valentina. I know why she's here and what they're teasing for the future, but in the context of this movie, I will admit that her scenes just kind of felt a bit tacked on. I get where they're going forward in the sense that like the US does not know about Telecon, so they have like their eyes set on Wakanda, and so it makes sense from like the US perspective that, you know, we're like preparing for war with this nation. But specifically when it comes to Valentina's character, I don't know. This is the third time we've seen her in the MCU, and maybe it's because she hasn't really been given like a meaty role in a story yet. But I don't know. I'm still not feeling it yet.
I don't know. I liked her and Ross, and like, you know, I don't know. I didn't mind the scenes, but I will say it did mess with the pacing. Like, I won't say that it didn't. But but maybe I'm just always happy to see Julie Louis-Dreyfus. So I was like, oh, my lady's here. But also, I wanted to know what the US was doing. Like, I didn't want them just to be calling up, hey, like, tell me. I wanted like a little bit more like consequences for him. And I think the ending, you know, where they bust him out, I thought that was funny. I thought that was good. So I don't know. It made sense. I did have several friends who were like, delete all those parts. Like, they didn't even want him in there. They were just like, no, America. Just no more. Only Riri there, and then like, let's run off. And like, America has no idea what's going on. And I was like, but they wouldn't not know what's going on.
Yeah.
They always know.
They're just in as much search for freaking vibranium as they're the main point that the whole thing's happening.
I know, it's their fault. They started this.
Yeah. On a quasi-related note, the part where Black Panther, where Ross is talking with Claw, the fact that they're played by Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis, are you guys seriously going to tell me that wasn't intentional?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bilbo and Gollum.
And Gollum.
Man. He didn't call vibranium as precious, but they had a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I really like Martin Freeman, and I like the Everett Ross character, but it was one of those, like, I think Mike said, he's just like, well, he's on the recurring cast, so we had to, it's gotta be on there somewhere.
So is he related to General Ross?
You had this talk. No, he's not.
Okay.
Wow.
Because I genuinely didn't know.
Because that Ross, well, I mean, Ross has always been around, but that Ross was in a movie they didn't have the full rights to.
Why didn't they just change his last name? That just makes it so confusing.
Only people like us pay attention to that, but like, yeah.
Okay.
It is funny though how both characters have the last name Ross. Both work for the U.S. government in some capacity, but they're not related.
Yeah, that's something that I can imagine fiction writers like avoiding at all costs, like characters to not have either the same first name or the same last name unless they were related, or even though they have the same first name that have something to do with the plot. But no, they just screw people's minds up even more. Why not? Yeah. It's not like comic books fry people's minds enough already.
And it's one of those things where it's like when like Marvel, I think, is 80 years old now,
ish,
more or less. Yeah.
Ish. Eventually, spreadsheet gets a little big, and like it's gotta happen at some point. But in my head, I do want a moment, since they're both U.S. officials, and Ross is going to be in the Thunderbolts movie. The other Ross just got screwed over by a woman who was helping assemble people for the Thunderbolts. I would love for those two to be in a scene, and they'd be like, Ross, right? No relation. We did.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
I would love that.
Like, they never got Downey Jr. and Benedict to say no shit Sherlock to each other. You have to do something with this. Yeah. Like, that was the one thing that never happened.
I guess, yeah, Sherlock's in the open domain, but I was just wondering if they were like worried about pissing off Philip. But then I'm like, what does Moffat care? Like, if I can see it.
Or would that just be too self-aware even for Marvel?
Yeah. Maybe they're just too worried.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the next time we see Everett Ross will be in Secret Invasion, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, and also the next time, they just announced the next time we're seeing Violet. Now I just forgot her name.
Valentina Contessa.
Yeah, she just got the next movie she's going to be in, and it only popped up on my Facebook feed because someone shared it complaining that it's like, I'm done with seeing her. I'm like, maybe she'll have a point this time though. Like I was telling Mike, like, before this movie, every time you saw her, she was just the end credit scene of Iron Man repeated, but for villains.
Yeah.
She's just like, but what if the U.S. government was dumber than you think? You want to work for me? I think Hawkeye killed your sister. Hey, you want to take a card? Come on over. We've got cookies over here. Come on. So you have a great actress. Let her do something.
True. Too true.
And like, she's probably going to be one of the main people that's like in the Thunderbolts. So it's just,
it has to be.
Yeah, she'll have a big thing to do with there because we don't know who's actually leading them. I assume it's going to be her or what Ross is going to be doing in that movie. Because if you have her leading a group of Thunderbolts against Red Hulk Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, that'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to whatever they have planned for that team.
Let it happen. I'm just like, going to show up and be like, what's going to happen next? Because I don't know the comics. I'll be like, we'll just see.
Yes.
Who knows? Because I definitely felt that way for Hawkeye. But then obviously when I watched Hawkeye, I was like, oh, now I want to read the Kate Bishop books. Okay, you got me. Now I'm in. That's like how it always happens. Same thing with Black Panther. I was like, oh, Roxane Gay. Oh, what's this? Oh, now I'm reading them. Oh, now I have 2 boxes of comics just sitting here looking at me in my living room that I haven't read.
And like, speaking of Kate Bishop, like, this movie, like, I've been feeling it for a while, but now that we've got Riri, I'm like, you have announced 2 Avengers movies. I would really like you to announce a Young Avengers movie.
I mean, yes.
It's a matter of when, not if.
Because, like, you've got, like, a 9-person Young Avengers team at this point. Like, you've got it there.
So other characters we haven't mentioned yet. Okoye probably has some of the funniest lines in the movie.
It really looks bad. It's like, no, it looks fine. I knew it. It looked terrible.
You brought a spear in here?
Of course. I was like, they don't go anywhere else. I also liked how she was suspicious of like the technology and all of that. I thought that was really funny.
Yes. Giving that one girl, I can't remember her name, the other Dora Milaje member who had the weird daggers, was just like, that's not necessary.
Anika.
Anika. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I was like, I'm ready for that. I was like, I'm ready for the technology. More suits. Everyone gets a suit. More suits.
Yes. Also, that name, the Midnight Angels. Oh, that sounds like the Wakandan equivalent of Valkyries.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Actually.
And they looked shockingly accurate. I had no idea Midnight Angels were even a thing, and I had completely spaced that they had shown partially in trailers and like weird things that they existed. And I went and looked them up. They're unbelievably accurate.
Yeah.
They look a little bit more flight exosuity, but yeah, they look pretty much ripped clean out of comics.
Which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
So basically, for those who don't know, the Midnight Angels are sort of like they're like a section of the Dora Milaje, but are like the more elite Black Ops subsection.
Can you imagine being in the subgroup of the group that Wakanda sends to deal with all their dirtiest shit? Like, no. Not just the regular Dora Milaje. Go and get the other ones.
Well, I'm ready. I'm like, yeah. What are you guys? Can you have your own movie too? Ready.
Was just a Wakandan miniseries that Ryan Coogler might be trying to get done.
Maybe
I wonder what he's gonna call it. Is he just gonna call it Wakanda, or maybe the miniseries is about the Midnight Angels?
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
He was a woman whooping ass.
The reveal was good, like for them and everything. And obviously they kicked ass in that battle. So I would like more.
Yes, exactly.
Two more things we have left to discuss. I don't think we really touched upon Nakia that much.
Yeah.
I will never complain about a movie giving us more Lupita Nyong'o.
Correct.
Right.
Never.
Honestly, I was like, oh yeah, she's back. Like literally when she showed up, I was like, I don't know how I forgot. Because I was just like Shuri, like Queen Ramonda in the trailer, and they only show her like a little bit. So I was like, oh yeah. I thought it was good. I liked the Haitian school, whole background. I like going somewhere that's like showing how she has like such a good heart, because that was like part of her character in the first Black Panther. Of how she always wants to help people and bring people together, not be just Black Ops, Dora Milaje all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But she still got it when the time came. So I thought it was good, and the ending broke me.
It broke me too.
How long did it, like, probably weren't expecting that, because it's the last Phase 4 movie, and it's an end credit scene that, like, the first half of that end credit scene, I was like, why isn't this the actual ending of the movie?
Yes, that's why I thought it was like two ending. I was like, okay.
I'm like, why are you returning the King of it right now? And then all of a sudden she burns the thing, and like also faintly in the distance, I see her holding hands, and I'm like, don't. I will be a pool of tears. Don't even.
Honestly, I didn't until he like sat down. I didn't really connect. Like, oh, that's hers. I was just like, what? And then that was literally the cutest little boy they could have found. Yeah. I was like, you're cuter than Corn Kid. Like, what is? I was just like, this little baby's here. And I was like, I gotta get out of this theater. Like, I can't be here. And I waited till the end. I was like openly weeping, like as I was sitting in the chair.
Yeah. And one thing I really love about this scene is that you do see that kid earlier in the movie when Ramonda goes to visit Nakia. He is one of the three children who go introduce them to their headmaster. So when Shuri asks, Has my mother met him? And she said, yes. That's what broke me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Ramonda, she was going to mention that to Shuri even. She was going to say, there's something about T'Challa that you don't know. And then all of a sudden Namor comes.
Yeah, it was like, then the fish dude came. And she got interrupted because my friend was trying to do the timeline. And I was like, that was totally what they were going to talk about. That's why she was trying to get it ready emotionally to accept the news and burn the robes.
Exactly.
Yeah. How nice is it, by the way, that that's the last post-credit scene in Phase 4? I'm glad that it was like emotional of a note and didn't really.
I didn't want something jokey.
Yeah. No, I didn't want something like cliffhangery.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a little cliffhangery, but like,
but not like multiverse way. Like it's not like a sort of thing. It's.
Yeah, they're not like sucked into the quantum realm.
Or like, or there's like a huge threat, like Hercules in Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
like that scene. I was hanging, like someone was literally sitting at the faucet, going like this, like going, and then the kid looked at her. He's like, that was like giving him like my actual name is T'Challa. Like, boom! It turned on. I'm like, ah!
I was like, what?
Yep.
I was like, gone.
Like, Ryan Coogler, you son of a bitch.
And I thought it was good that they were like, this was still T'Challa's choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, the whole time. And I was like, yes.
Relieve him from the stress.
I don't like secret baby stories usually, but I was like, okay, this time.
And that makes, and like you said, this one genuinely made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, what an end to house.
And like you said, that kid was so adorable.
So I was like, where did they find him?
They're really good in like these later Phase 4 movies or like later Marvel movies. They've gotten really good at like getting child actors.
Yeah, like the kid in Thor: Love and Thunder is actually Chris Hemsworth's daughter. That I thought that was pretty neat.
And like Morgan Stark, can't remember the girl's name. She did so good. And then Paul Rudd's daughter in the original Ant-Man. Oh my gosh. She was so good.
It was good.
Abby Ryder-Fortson.
Yeah, and then like he wasn't a kid actor, he was a teenager, but Ty Simpkins in Iron Man 3, like,
oh my God, yeah,
it's so good.
Honestly, that's
and then of course Speed Wiccan from
oh yeah, yes, Wanda's kids, yes, that's very true.
Out here doing good work already.
Yeah.
Do we think that they're going to age up the kid in the next movie?
Well, we're going to have to wait to see how long off it, because that kid's 5?
Yeah, I know. I was like, it's getting tricky. He can't be on set all day. Like,
you can't be on set all day, and it's also how much time are they going to let pass between these movies?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what
honestly, that is a good question.
But also, we're doing multiverse stuff here.
True.
Technically, an aged up version of that kid could come up in multiverse.
That's very
true. Time travel is very much like on the table.
Mm-hmm. And who's not to say that the last Black Panther movie, you see a future scene of like Shuri doing something, and then he's just full-blown 19-year-old walks in to check on his aunt.
Yeah, exactly.
There's all sorts of stuff they can do. That is just an open home run waiting to get hit whenever they want to do it. It is placed on the tee and just put in the back room.
Yeah, my friend's like, oh, that's perfect. He's back. They just did it seamlessly. And I was like, yes.
I can't remember exactly who said this, but someone had the idea of, we're gonna see the X-Men in the future. So maybe if they wanted to like eventually have T'Challa and Storm be a pair to
don't do that to me, Mike.
I was gonna say to introduce a younger Storm, but like years in the future.
Yeah.
That's a power couple that never got to happen in the MCU.
I know. I will never not be bummed about that.
Oh.
No, they really mess with that character. I can't even get into the movies. It makes me upset.
But hey, they have a chance to just didn't just do whatever they want.
I know, because that was the big complaint everyone was saying is like, why are they moving? Like they should wait. Like the people who wanted to wait and not do another Black Panther movie just because he passed, and I was like, no, that's dumb.
Do you know who'd be the number one person who would be saying all of you were idiots? Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, it's like literally not the point. Also, clearly not, because it's not like I don't know. I can't even think of a movie to equate it to, but it's not like it's like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom making a sequel. Like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah,
what people think.
And it's not like they made up a legacy character.
Yeah,
like the Black Panther is a literal mantle.
Yes.
It gets passed on. That is the whole point.
Yes,
exactly.
It's kind of like when Brandon Lee died on the set of The Crow. That was what they used. Granted, none of the sequels I hear are nearly as good as the first one, but
that was actually go out of your way to see him.
Yeah, like even if he didn't die, they probably wouldn't be clamoring for him to return in The Crow 2 because it is a mantle. It's the mantle and the star playing him aren't one of the same in this case.
Yeah, and it's like this is coming from a white person, so take that as it is. That role was incredibly important for a lot of people, and it was important for the person who played it. When the people who are in charge of making movies that make them almost $1 billion go, no, we're okay. You all need to shut up.
Yeah.
Like, when they're passing up free money, recasting a character.
Yeah.
Come on.
So true. They couldn't recast anyone anyway. It's just impossible.
Yeah, it's honestly damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, there is this huge uproar of people because they didn't recast T'Challa, but if they did, everyone would be comparing him negatively to Chadwick.
It would have been a bad scene. It's like this would be worse than the Witcher stuff, for sure.
Yeah,
just don't do it.
Absolutely.
And they didn't, and I'm excited.
It's one of those things where you just come around. It wasn't like Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle. It's a different situation.
No. Right.
I heard someone compare that to me yesterday, and I wanted to slap them.
Yeah, no, that is apples to oranges.
Yes.
One has their own movie. Sorry,
Yeah.
Rhodey, but you don't have your own movie. So,
Yes.
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 You guys, technically, weirdly, through replanning, got one now, but
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's just going to be, he's remembered as that, and you know what? You can keep that as an important thing in the MCU also.
Yeah.
Remembering T'Challa. Other people are going to have stories about it.
Mm-hmm.
Some jokey, some not so much. Like, I'm a person who extremely connected with Steve Rogers. To this point, my favorite performance in the MCU is Chris Evans as Steve Rogers. Do you know how much it means to me, or like how cool it is that like he went out of his way to have Bucky be taken care of in Wakanda because of everything that he went through with T'Challa, and then he was on the front lines with T'Challa racing to go defend T'Challa's homeland. When those portals open up and the first person through there nodding at him going, "You were there for me, I'm here for you, let's go whoop their asses," was T'Challa, you don't recast him.
Right.
Yeah.
That moment is going to live in my brain forever. Oh.
In Endgame, honestly, most of my friends were like, okay, a lot of people got dusted, but like T'Challa, freaking out. That was the one.
Yep.
But they all came back. It's okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, final thoughts before we wrap this one up. Jacob, I'll start with you.
Wakanda Forever, it's a rich, satisfying piece. Even if you're not into Marvel, I can see you getting to the dramatic stakes of it. You can see like the rich history of Wakanda. I can see you getting caught in like anyone who's had a loss, like Suri does. Like I think they can really connect to this. It is a powerful story about keeping people's legacies forward, and it's a very mature blockbuster to come from Hollywood to finally address how unfair life can be, and like what you have to do sometimes, just to keep that person's life. And it's a very touching, very bittersweet, very rewarding experience in the MCU, and I recommend you check it out.
Well said. Teresa?
Yeah, if you're an Angela Bassett fan, you gotta watch this movie. I don't care if you don't like superheroes, you better get in there. I thought the performances are just so solid from everyone, and I love that they just brought in like Mexican culture. I just thought that was like so smart. I love that they had a premiere there and all of that, and you gotta watch it. Yes, you're gonna cry, but it's good. I promise. You're probably not to the end of this if you haven't already seen it, but get other people to go with you and make them see it. I'm going to go to Texas on Monday and I'm going to make my mom see it before we go on this cruise. So I was like, no, you can't get on the boat without us doing this.
Because we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it. So, yeah.
All right, Brock, your final thoughts?
Yeah, outside of, like I said, minor things I felt could have been cut, the one thing that this movie did that I want to brag about the most, like you just said, I was very happy where we finally got a Marvel movie where we just got to sit and, like, and the last time this happened was in Black Panther for the most part, where you just got a new place announced in Marvel and you for a good 45 minutes just got to go there.
Yeah.
No fighting, no whatever. You just got to learn and get background and realize why it's rich. And it would do so much in the future for why you're going to remember that. It is just calm moments that don't need a joke. I'm not one of those people that hates Marvel jokes, but it's like, just there's no snarkiness, there's nothing, there was no fighting. You just got to see a Marvel location for a while. It's awesome. Like Teresa said, it's near illegal if you're a fan of Angela Bassett and you don't see this, because her tearing apart Kaye. What happened? She's like, my daughter is gone, and you had to talk her into going. Everyone's performance is just off the charts. Like, Ryan Coogler's really good at his job.
Yeah.
That is basically my thesis. Ryan Coogler is really good at his job. Again, after everything that the cast and crew has went through, the fact that he still wrangled this production together, got great performances out of everyone in the cast, including Winston Duke, including all of the side characters, including the villain or just antagonist, Tenoch Huerta as Namor. Just superb performances all around. Great action sequences, a lot of great silence. One of the few modern superhero movies that really get into the 5 stages of grief. I just thought this was really well done. And, like we all kind of stressed, if you're an Angela Bassett fan, you need to see this. Academy voters, other award bodies, give this a watch and give your votes over to Bassett because she earned it.
And I can't wait for Ryan to make his 3rd movie so he can have the trifecta of having the best 3 times of having antagonists in Marvel movies ever, because like each time it's been knocked out of the park. It's like not even close at this point.
Oh yeah. I would love personally if he got to do X-Men.
Part of me kind of somehow wants him to be able to handle Doom.
Yeah. Give him a Doom miniseries.
Yeah, like even if somehow they wait until the 3rd Black Panther movie to properly introduce Doom, like you just have like them talking about things like he's not even a villain. They just happen to have to go to Latveria for something.
Yeah. I would like that very much. Before we get out of here, Teresa, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me at Teresa Electro on all social media.
And Jacob, where can everyone find you?
Find me on Facebook, Jacob Crable, Krehbiel. I'm also part of the Renegade Pop Culture Facebook group.
And Brock?
You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mostly Twitch and YouTube. And if you're interested in more solo story-driven stuff on Twitch, so if you want to come and by and hang out, I'll be playing God of War and Resident Evil last year's stream. So come stop by.
Nice. And you guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/Coach K42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. We're also on YouTube, on Podchaser, on the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we. That'll do it for this episode of Renegade Capes. We will catch you guys later. Peace out.
Bye.